Hello, good morning, everyone. Hope you all are well. My name again is Valerie Hawes. I am the Organizational Learning and Development Lead here at Goodwill Columbus, and I want to welcome you back to our Facebook page. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about what not to do in an interview. Hopefully, you've seen a couple of our presentations already. Some of the things that we've been talking about is how to prepare an effective resume, how to be effective in how you go about searching for jobs and matching yourself with the right role and making sure your resume matches up with the job postings and all of that good stuff. Well, once you've done that and you've applied, hopefully then you're going to be called for the interview. And now you've got to prepare for that as well. So one of my previous classes, I talked about all of the things to do as you prepare for the interview, but I didn't spend a lot of time talking about what not to do. So I want to really dig in a little deeper with that. I have done this presentation before, and I've done it in two parts, as I will do today. This morning, I'm going to talk to you about 4 things that you should not do in the interview, and then I'll probably come back at 2 p.m. with another 4 or 5 things that you still should remember not to do in the interview. See, what you don't do is just as important as what you do in the interview. So we want you to present your very best self. Now, while I am going over some of these topics, we do have a moderator in the chat. I believe it's Mr. Victor Johnson. So I want you to feel free to ask any questions that you may have in the chat. Just place those questions in the chat, and the moderator will be available to answer those questions. So we're going to get right to it, all right? I do ask that you are respectful in the chat, or even when you message us, because if not, we will have to block you. And we really want to be able to assist you as much as possible, okay? So let's talk about 4 things that you should not do in the interview. First thing you should not do is please don't dress inappropriately. Make sure that you are well prepared, that you've looked at your wardrobe, that you got a couple of ideas on what to wear for the interview. Now, in order to do that, you are first going to need to have a clear understanding as to what their dress code is. So depending upon who you're interviewing with, you want to find out what is the dress code there for that particular organization. Dress codes tend to reflect the work that people do, as well as the level of enthusiasm or the level of liberalness versus conservativeness. Is that even a word? I don't know. But you'll want to make sure that you're aware of what their dress code is so that you can dress appropriately for the interview. Now, with that said, that does not mean that once you know the dress code that you are to dress exactly like the dress code. Nope. In fact, you need to dress one step above the level of dress code that they are that they have at the job. So for instance, there's business professional, there's business casual, and then there's casual dress. Okay? There's business professional, business casual, and casual dress. Those are the 3 typical types of dress codes in any organization, okay? Now, business professional are suits, ties for gentlemen. Ladies, pantsuits, skirt suits, dress suits, dresses, and even pants and, you know, something a really fancy blouse. You know, there are a few things that you can do. Most people aren't confused on what the dress code is when you learn that something is business professional. Now, if their dress code is business professional, You obviously don't want to dress one level above that, because that would mean you'd be walking up in there with a tuxedo on or evening gown. No, not in that case. If the dress code is business professional, then you can dress, and you should dress business professional in that interview. If the dress code, however, is business casual, which typically is maybe for ladies, it might be dress slacks, a blouse, maybe it's a little cardigan with that. It could be a skirt and a blouse. It could be a cardigan and pants only. I mean, it could be something of that nature. That would be business casual. For gentlemen, it might be dress slacks or khakis with a sweater, a button-down shirt. Sometimes people like to wear ties, a button-down shirt and tie with khakis or with dress slacks and just dressing like that. So that's business casual. If the dress code at the company is business casual, for the interview, you want to dress business professional. And if the dress code is casual, which could be jeans, or sometimes it's leggings, sometimes it's, I said khakis. For some places, it's even jeans and a dress shirt or a golf shirt or something of that nature. If their dress code is casual, you'll want to dress business casual. And if their dress code is business casual, you will want to dress business professional. But if their dress code is business professional, do not pull out your evening gown, okay? So dress appropriately for the interview. And I'll tell you what else. If you are dressed appropriately, they will take notice. They will take notice that you look very nice, in the same way they will notice if you don't look so nice. And if you look appropriate, they know you've been paying attention and you've done your research. So please dress appropriately on the interview. Number 2, when you go into the interview, please, please, please don't bring a drink with you. Now, I understand that, when you get nervous sometimes, your mouth gets dry. So I understand the thought that I want to make sure I have water, or I've drank my tea, or I have some coffee to perk me up. I understand the need for that as you are preparing for your interview and driving in, but I would suggest that you not bring the drink inside the office with you. Leave it in the car. Now, if in the interview they offer you water, I suggest absolutely take them up on that. You can definitely have some water, have it there sitting nearby, so that if you need to take a little sip here and there, so to wet your whistle, that's fine. That's absolutely okay. If they offer you coffee or tea, I suggest staying away from those things. Sometimes having a hot beverage in an intense situation for some interviews are intense. So you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you might nervously knock it over, doesn't have a cover. You don't want to do that. And you don't want to be in the interview with coffee breath, okay? So we want to make sure that we are mindful of every aspect, how we look, how we smell, and just our professionalism altogether. So you don't want to bring a drink in with you, no matter what it is. But if you're offered a drink, take them up on the glass of water. That way you'll have it handy, okay? So don't bring a drink in with you. And definitely snacks are not allowed either, okay? Number 3, whatever you do, when you go into the interview, please, please don't look at your phone. Don't sit and surf the web on your phone. Don't check your emails on the phone. In fact, don't even bring your phone in. I said it. That's right. I said it. Don't bring your phone in. Because if you bring it in, you're going to want to look at it, right? It's human nature. Look, I always tell people I am attached to this baby right here. I'm attached to it and I'm addicted to it. Because I know that about myself, there's certain places that I shouldn't even bring it in. Or, you know, being the lady that I am, I have a big purse with me everywhere I go. I can tuck it in my purse and turn it off to make sure that I'm not, you know, fiddling around with it. But I suggest you don't bring that phone in. Couple of reasons for that. You don't want to forget what you're there to do. You are there to impress and to land a job. And people want hard workers, people who are going to be professionals at all times, and they only have a short window of time to make some judgments, some decisions. So you'll want to make sure that every moment they are with you, you are engaged, and you want to display that from the moment you walk in the door. If you don't have your phone with you, then you won't be distracted there. And if you're sitting out in the lobby and you're just sitting around, you're just looking at your phone. When I look at my phone, I tend to get very relaxed in this chair, okay? That is going to come across as well. The way you are sitting, your posture, the way you stand, the way you speak, the way you're dressed, everything is going to get scrutinized. So you want to make sure that you are prepared for that. You want to make sure you don't have your phone, that you're not slouching in your chair out in the lobby, because 9 times out of 10, that hiring manager or recruiter is going to come out and talk to that receptionist, you know, the person who checked you in when you came in, and the person who's going to call on you when it's time for your interview. That hiring manager and recruiter may come out and ask that recruiter, so how did you like her? What did she do? Was she nice to you when she came in? What was she doing in the lobby as she was waiting for me to call her back? They may ask all of those questions. They are looking at every little thing you do. So don't set yourself up for a distraction or for a failure. Just be prepared. Come in, speak to the receptionist, be kind and courteous. Come in, sit down, be alert and ready. If you want to look over something while you're seated, pull out your resume, look over it, be prepared to answer questions appropriately for that. All right. So number 1, dress appropriately. Please don't dress inappropriately. Number 2, don't bring a drink in with you, or snacks for that matter, to the interview. Number 3, please, whatever you do, don't use your phone in the lobby, in the interview. Just try not to bring it in at all. That leads us to number 4. Number 4, do not come into the interview without having prepared and rehearsed answers to the typically asked interview questions. Now, in my previous presentation, I talked about these questions. I'm going to pull them up for you here because I want you to take a look at these questions. These are the most commonly asked questions in the interview. And I don't care what field you're going into. I don't care who the interviewer is. If it's a hiring manager, a recruiter of many years, it doesn't matter the company. Every interviewer is asking these questions. Now, they may have additional ones, but these are the typically asked questions, and they will carry a lot of weight in the decision of that recruiter or hiring manager. So at this time, you know, pause the video, jot down these questions if you haven't seen my presentation prior to this, or you can wait till we're finished and come back to this frame right here. And I want you to jot down all of these questions, and then I want you to sit down and write out your answers to each of these questions. If you write out the answers in complete sentences and rehearse those answers in the way in which they are written, you will sound prepared. You won't sound rehearsed. You will sound prepared, and you'll sound as if you know what you're talking about and confident in your abilities. If you don't have all the answers to these questions, or you can't think of the best way to answer it, guess what? Google is your friend. So you can Google these questions for roles similar to the ones that you are applying for, and you will find that they will have the best possible answers to these questions. Now, here's the thing. Whatever you do, you don't want to lie and make up an answer where you really don't have one. So you'll want to look at how maybe someone else who's applying for a similar job as you answered that question. What does Google say is one of the best answers to that question in an interview? And then reframe it if it applies to something that you have actually encountered in your career. If you haven't encountered whatever it is they're asking and you don't have an answer, don't make up the answer. At that point, you'll want to be honest, and you could say, you know, I don't think I've ever run into that problem. However, I could tell you, if you'd like, how I would handle that situation if it were to happen to me. Or you could tell them about a time that you witnessed it happen to someone else and maybe how you would have handled it. So you'll want to make sure that you're never lying, that you're always honest, but you're always prepared as well. Don't take the chance of just saying, oh yeah, I know these answers. These are easy. The truth is you do know these answers. And the questions aren't hard, but when you couple stress and nervousness with passion and a need to impress someone, you might get a little mixed up. So you'll want to make sure that you are writing those answers out in complete sentences. And the way you rehearse those answers will be the way that they will flow right on out your mouth. So practice, 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 write out these answers and practice them so that you will walk in with all the confidence in the world and you're ready to land that job. All right. So that's all I have. You have the top 4 things not to do, what not to do in the interview. I will be back at 2 p.m. for part 2. Some more things not to do in an interview. All right. Until then, if you want to catch up on what you should do in the interview, go check out one of my previously recorded videos right here on this channel. And then you'll be ready for our session at 2 p.m. All right. Otherwise, have a great afternoon. Oh, and thank you to Victor out there in the chat and to everybody for stopping by. All right. Have a good one, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.